Okay, we're going to give you a quick idea now on making your own plastic. It's a lot more fun if you want to take your kids out and they make their own plastic, you know, and they catch a fish on it. It means a lot more to them than just sticking their pole down there. So there's different ways to do it. What I do is Greg will give you an idea where I get this stuff from. You buy it and it comes in a bottle, either a quart or a pint. It makes a ton of stuff. So I mean, don't overdo it. And the other thing you look for is there's different kinds. You want to get the neutral buoyancy. Okay, you can get it floating, you can get it extra rigid, you can buy different types. This happened to be in this catalog, was a 502. And all you do is, I take some out, you shake it up. I put it in a Pyrex bowl. You don't have to pour much in there. You go buy a cheap microwave somewhere for $5 or $10. Then I'll heat it up for, I'll start with two minutes. So we'll check it out. Remember, it was completely white. Now look at it, it's crystal clear. So then what we do is you can buy a lot of colors. So we'll just pick out a color here. Okay, this one is a chartreuse, a non-bleed chartreuse. There's white, red. You can mix and match. You can do all kinds of things. We'll add a couple drops. Okay. You add some as you go along until you get the color you want. Start out slow because you can always add more, but you can't take it away. And the color will change a little bit once it hardens. And if you ever want a darker color or a little more color to it, once this hardens, you can put it back in the microwave. It'll come back to a liquid, then you can start adding more stuff to it again. You can also add stuff like, now it's a point where you can put glitter in there, different colors. The ones I generally use are blue, chartreuse, and red. So you just take a couple pinches and stick it in. And there you go. Now they also sell scents. Not all scents, like you can't go out and buy, like I've tried Gulp, and some of that stuff will work. Most of it will start bubbling, and it does just, there's a chemical reaction with the plastic. But they sell all kinds, from shrimp and anise, herring. You can get crawfish, cricket. So let's just say today we're going to add some, and you don't have to add any scent really. So I just put a little squirt in there, and now that's going to be impregnated right into the plastic. So now we just let it sit till it hardens. And then what else I have here now is I made my own molds, but you can actually buy them pre-made of different things that are rubber. These are about $10 for would be like, there's a twister tail one if you wanted to make twister tails, split tails. These are bigger ones that I had bought. The smaller ones I made myself out of Lexan and other stuff. So then what I usually do, normally this would be hard like these. I'd let, after I made it sit, I'd put it back in the microwave, put it in for whatever, 45 seconds, so it gets more of a liquid on it. So once once we get this hardened, and if you don't have a mold or anything, you can just pour something on a plate, on a microwave plate, and it'll scatter out. Normally what I would do is I'd take a syringe, and this is a Pyrex syringe, and I just and then you want to empty it out, because otherwise you'll create a vacuum in here if you let it harden. You can see some of it's starting to harden right in here now. And the other thing you can buy is, if you want your plastic softer, there's a softer and a hardener. Like this comes out as a softener. It makes your plastic even softer, but then you got to remember, the softer you make it, the less strength it's got, and it's more likely to break or pull apart. Then you can also buy a hardener if you want it a little harder. What I do then is just take a screwdriver and clean that out. Okay, here's one I used earlier. The nice part is you can just take your fingernail and push it down, clean the jar up a little bit. And then it comes out. Now with the leftover stuff, let's say I'm out fishing and I did really good on this color. Well, I don't have to come back and try and match it again because I have it. So I can put that, you can see I have different colors here. And they're hardened. So all I would do would be take that, stick it in this cup, stick it in the microwave for a minute and a half or something, and I could make my own, go back to making the same plastic I was catching fish on yesterday. Okay, and like I made these molds out of Lexan. You can just buy Lexan and put two pieces together, you know, tap one end and run a bolt through there. So all I do then is just take the screws out, or the nuts off. And you can make these, I just drill in the drill press and use a Dremel tool to make whatever design what you want. And you might find out whatever you think will work. And it probably will if you believe in it. And so it'll come off, and well, it'll be sticky at first. There will be a piece of, and once we put that on there, this will come up. It'll be neutral buoyancy, so it'll be level, which we can even show you here. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about this testing later on, but it's something everybody should get. It's still a little. Okay. So see what we got there? That's what you want, is you want a tail that just kind of flaps around and it's sitting horizontal. And you know, you can make it just go real slow and just kind of weave. And some days they're going to want it where it's going to have a lot more action on it, swimming around. And you try different things. Change the cadence and change your depths and coming up and down with it. And it doesn't take long. Now, if you didn't have a mold and we made it on here, I can just do the same thing. I can cut out what we want. To any shape I want. I'm just putting a basic one on here. And somewhere I had this. And I'll hook it on there so that it's horizontal. See, now I'm watching it. That's why you kind of check things as you look at that. I think that's sitting a little high. So what I would do is just pull this back a little bit. Look at that. Now, if you were a fish, you'd want to eat that, right? So these I made actually when I was still working. I'm retired now, but because I had access to a machine shop, so I could make these out of aluminum on the bottom and just make Lexan tops. The new ones I make are just, you get a piece of Lexan and it's clear. You can see what we got here. You can cut it whatever you want. Then, like I said, drill and tap a couple of holes, put some screws in there, and then just mark out what you want. You can drill the size head you want for your plastic and whatever shape you want underneath. And you can I take a Dremel tool. It might just go through here and make lines and figure out how deep I want to go. You start out thinner and see how much flex you get out and how strong the material is. If it's not strong enough, you'll probably want to go a little deeper. These you can buy out of, I think Greg has the catalogs here, and I think you can get them for free online if you just Google that place. And you can get twister tails, you can get anything you want, and all you do then is take the plastic and pour it into these molds right here. Like I said, I got other ones where you can add it by putting in something down here and putting the head up here, you know, what I call the head.
So when you use molds, do you have to use any chemical to get them to separate from the mold, the plastic from the mold easily, or it just happens?
You don't have to on the Lexan. Sometimes when you first do it, what I like to do is I'll just get if you look behind you on the cabinet there, I got a spray can of cooking oil, and I'll just spray them. Okay, and the oil will go in there, and if you feel like they're sticking in, and when you're pulling them apart, the things are sticking, just spray the cooking oil on there.
Here are a couple of the catalogs on where we purchased the plastic, the coloring, glitter, and scents. This was the plastic that we used during this video. In this picture, you'll see the different colors that you could purchase to change your plastic color to. And finally, some of the scents